Tonight, to close or not to close. That was a theme of a public meeting as the Duluth School District looks to shut the doors on historic Old Central.
Plus, in tonight's Eye on Mining, a big company buyout and a call to action on a troubled mining site in Nashwauk.
And later, Pain Tribute. We look back on the life of a man who started one of Northwest Wisconsin's greatest traditions.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. The Duluth School Board held a public meeting tonight to discuss the future of historic Old Central.
As CBS3's Kendall Jarbo explains, people are worried about what the building's closure means for the programs housed inside.
Historic Old Central High School, built in 1892, is an iconic building in Duluth. It's up for sale, a difficult step in its long history.
The closing of historic Old Central High School is a touchy subject for many who grew up in Duluth like I did.
No longer a high school, the building holds administration offices and school learning programs. The district put it up for sale due to financial hardships. One estimate says more than $48 million in repairs are needed to get the building up to code.
Like all districts, we have financial constraints. And I can see the rationale behind the closure and understand closing the building is in the best interest of our finances.
Most who spoke at Tuesday's public hearing were in favor of closing the building, but opposed to ending the programs within.
One thing is for sure, and that is that it's going to go. This building and everything in it, including ALC and AEO, is going to have to go somewhere at some point.
Academic Excellence Online and Area Learning Center are two programs in the building. They help at-risk students receive alternate scheduling and recover lost credits.
Where will the high-risk students of our ALC go? ALC acts as a beacon of hope for students who feel that the system doesn't care about them or has already failed them.
Questions the teachers hope the administration will answer before they close on a deal.
The Duluth School Board is still looking for a buyer. A potential closure date depends on sale and relocation timeline.
Meanwhile, school snow days could soon be a thing of the past due to the pandemic and remote learning. The Hayward School District is one of many making plans for how to approach learning when the weather gets ugly. Superintendent Craig Olson says the district will be planning in advance when snow is anticipated. Fortunately, they are able to have all students bring electronic devices home, meaning they can have an impromptu remote learning day if needed.
It'll look different though, because there will be lessons going on. It probably won't be as intense as a regular school day, but at least something will be there and staff will be able to check in with the students. So,
Olson says he tries to avoid having delayed starts during the winter as it can be difficult for families to get kids to school. He adds snow days don't usually have a financial impact on the district.
Wisconsin's governor announced new restrictions on the size of gatherings in the state as the number of coronavirus cases surge. Governor Tony Evers limited public indoor gatherings to 25% of the room or building's capacity. Indoor gatherings in places without occupancy guidelines are limited to 10 people. Evers says it's not enough to wear a mask. People need to stay home as much as possible, limit the spread, and take the pressure off hospitals in the state, which he says are on the brink.
We need to do this not just for our healthcare providers, but also for Wisconsin small businesses. The sooner we get this virus under control, the sooner we can get back to the activities we all enjoy.
The order goes into effect Thursday morning and runs through November 6th.
All right, let's take a peek at the weather. Dave, a pretty nice afternoon today, but then that's given way to some showers around the area, huh?
Yeah, those showers have been working from west to east as the day and now night has gone on. Okay. And just when you think things are wrapping up in Minnesota, a little cluster blooms up in Lake County, which we'll show you in just a little bit. Right now, we'll show you the high temperatures today, which for many towns ran from 65 to 70. That's warmer than normal, and that heat helped provide the lift that aggravated our low pressure system and stirred up the chance for the showers and even isolated thunderstorms. So there we go, rolling down Highway 1 right now. It looks like places like Isabella to Finland have been getting these showers and isolated thunderstorms and could for a little while longer. But once we get towards the midnight hour, I think this rain is going to wrap up and go away, and it may be the last we get for a while, because high pressure tomorrow should bring back sunshine to our picture. And even with a high temp of 60, that will be warmer than normal, but not near 70 like today. But today wasn't the last time we'll see 70 this week. I think it could come back again later on, and I'll talk about which day that's going to be in just a few more minutes.
All right, thanks, Dave. From Hibbing to Virginia to Nashwauk and Ely, the last week has been a whirlwind for the mining industry. Tonight, we're breaking down what happened. We'll start with a major acquisition for Cleveland Cliffs. The company announced it will be buying ArcelorMittal USA for $1.4 billion. This means a change in ownership for the Minorca mine in Virginia and Hibbing Taconite. It also puts Cleveland Cliffs at the top of the list for largest producers of flat-rolled steel and iron ore pellets in North America. The acquisition means Cliffs will acquire 6 steel mills, 8 finishing facilities, 2 iron ore pelletizing operations, and 3 coal and coke making operations. This comes just months after Cliffs acquired AK Steel and weeks before Cliffs' HBI facility in Toledo, Ohio is set to begin production. President and CEO Lorenzo Gonzalez said this move sets the company up to be completely self-sufficient in the steel-making process.
Encompassing all areas of the steel supply chain provides us with a level of operational and commercial optionality and flexibility that cannot be replicated. With this broad portfolio, we can now fully optimize our participation as an important player in the American market.
The deal is expected to be completed by the end of this year. Iron Range legislators are urging Governor Tim Walz to take action on a mining site in Nashwauk that has a long history of failed startup attempts. In a letter to the governor, Representative Julie Sandstead writes she wants Walz to pull the mineral leases from Mesabi Metallics, which is the current operator at the former SR Steel site. Her complaint is that Mesabi has missed several construction and tax deadlines and has breached their contracts. The letter asked the governor to pull the state mineral leases and give them to a company with sound financial standing to get the project up and running. And last week, President Trump signed an executive order which could impact the future of some types of mining in Minnesota. It specifically cuts down on what Trump called unnecessary permitting delays for companies like Twin Metals, which is looking to build an underground copper-nickel mine near the Boundary Waters. The company submitted its mine plan of operation at the end of last year. Now, federal and state agencies are reviewing its design and possible impact on the surrounding environment.
After discussions with the railroad, the Superior City Council tonight postponed a vote on a resolution focused on BNSF. According to Councilor Jenny Van Sickle, for the past 50 years, the railroad has reimbursed people for the cost of cleaning taconite dust off their homes. BNSF recently stopped doing that, leaving many people concerned. The council planned to vote on a resolution supporting the homeowners and asking the railroad to resume its reimbursement program. The council postponed voting on that resolution until their next meeting, but Van Sickle says after a conversation with railroad reps this morning, she's now hopeful for a positive outcome.
After 2 months delay due to COVID, today the Hibbing Police Department held its belated National Night Out event.
Their goal, create unity in the community during a difficult time. CBS 3's John Cardinelli reports on why it's an important mission for the department.
On Tuesday, it was Hibbing's Night to Unite as law enforcement officials and first responders extended their arms to the community.
It's a tough time in America between politics and racism, and our police department wants to be right at the forefront of those issues.
Unity and respect, the message they wanted to share with members of their city.
Very proactive in working with our community members to make sure we stay united right now instead of divided.
With questions regarding policing becoming a hot topic in recent months, some members of the Hibbing community feel their department treats its citizens with respect.
In my experience, yes. I think everyone has tried really hard to work through such an unprecedented time.
The event featured free food and prizes. For some, the best free giveaway was getting to know the people serving them on the streets.
These guys are on their side. They're here to help. They're our friends. They're our neighbors. They're our family. You know, so it's fantastic. It's positive.
A positive interaction between law enforcement and citizens, creating a better community.
You know, our community is our backbone. They're one of our biggest resources, and we want them to know we have their backs just like they have ours.
Chief Estes says they hope to hold more events like this in the future.
Still to come on Live Local CBS3, the founder of Bayfield's Apple Festival died at the age of 90. Next, we'll hear from the man's son about his father's legacy.
Today's record high temp is 83 degrees from 1961. Didn't get quite that warm today, but 68 was warmer than normal. And for the rest of the week, we should be warmer than normal and drier than normal too. So tonight's little chance of rain for some towns could be the last hurrah for a while. I'll talk about when the next round could come, coming up next.
Live, local, CBS3 News at 10 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, Kelly Hinson.
Three truckloads showed up unexpectedly, so we decided truckload sale with overstock prices like this. GE top load laundry pairs starting at $12.99. Or Samsung's stackable front load washers and dryers starting at just $13.99. Financing always available. Have our pros deliver and install or take it home today. Prime Appliances, the best place to buy your appliances. Let us prove it to you.
I'm Quinn Nystrom and I approve this message.
Pete Stauber and our healthcare. It's like the fox guarding the hen house. Stauber took tens of thousands of dollars from corporate special interests, like the healthcare industry, and voted against lowering drug prices 5 times. Stauber even voted to let insurance companies sell junk plans that deny coverage for people with pre-existing conditions. We can't trust Pete Stauber to guard our healthcare.
Built upon a solid foundation of cast iron and steel, Kubota L-Series tractor is the #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. for over 10 years. Powerful Kubota diesel engine, ease of operation, and your choice of a dependable Kubota gear or HST transmission. The durable Kubota L-Series tractor. Talk to your local Kubota dealer today to schedule a demo.
No one serves you better than Lulich Implement.
Donating plasma is an easy way to earn up to $400 a month as a new donor while saving lives. That's right. Every donation you make helps patients in need survive and thrive. Returning donors also see monthly bonus payouts and I Give rewards points. Go to CSLplasma.com to learn more about plasma donation. CSL Plasma. Good for you, great for life.
The Kelly Clarkson Show, right here.
Weekdays at 3 on CBS3. Now, the CBS3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
You know, in between news shows, I like to peruse the internet and look at old newspapers on microfilm from like the Minnesota Historical Society. Well, that revealed this gem, this bit of weather history that happened on this date back in 1900. Latest tornado, at least until that time, reported in Bowabic. Hit the town of Bowabic, knocked over a couple of locomotives that were working at one of the mines, and 2 people were unfortunately killed. Today, we do have a storm system coming around, and luckily it's not that severe. It's probably not going to knock much of anything over, and hopefully it'll be over in just a couple more hours. Then we set up for some drier weather for a couple of days. Let's take a look at the current conditions that are happening at the airport right now, and current temp is 57. 53% is the relative humidity. Westerly winds running 10 miles per hour, and our barometric pressure still on the low side at 29.64 inches of mercury as our low pressure system does continue to work its way eastward, skirting its center along the Canadian border, and of course its southern fringes reaching into Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the UP. Current temps 53 to 55 in the UP right now and 50 to 57 in northwestern Wisconsin. The cooler zone being found around Hayward, the warmer around Superior. That's a little bit topsy-turvy. Often it's the other way around. Minnesota numbers are in general in the 50s for Moose Lake towards Two Harbors. We're seeing a line of 57s that runs right through Proctor and Hermantown as well. But you get north of the Iron Ranges here, just by a couple hundred yards, and we're starting to drop into the 40s. And so that's the gist of what's coming around tonight. Low temps in the 40s for most places. Very close to 50, though, right by the warming influence of Lake Superior. So now, with the Doppler map, that low pressure system working along the Canadian border, it's starting to fade away for Wisconsin and for Michigan and most of Minnesota. But take a look at that cluster that's buzzed up here in parts of Lake County in Minnesota. In general, it seems to be paralleling Highway 1, and so now it seems to be towards the Finland area and slated to slide into Lake Superior in just a matter of minutes. And then after that, I think we're going to settle down and calm down as higher pressure pushes in behind the departing low. And Wednesday to Sunday then should be dominated by the high with sunshine and warmer than normal temperatures. For the most part, not as warm as today's, but still not too bad for this time in October. Next chance for rain, we may have to wait all the way until Monday before a low pressure system comes to bring us a chance for some showers. Tonight, here's what we get temperature-wise in Minnesota. Inland, low temps near 40. Lakeside ones close to 50. And for Wisconsin and Michigan, mid-40s there. Rain should be ending after midnight, and then tomorrow the sunshine takes over. Wisconsin and Michigan highs 58 to 62. That's warmer than normal. And about 55 to 62 in Minnesota with a partly cloudy sky. And now with the extended forecast, in general, the high temps will run 60 to even 70 all the way through Monday. The warmest day coming up will be Friday, which will be very much like today, a bit of sunshine, and highs topping out at 70 for a few towns, and even 60 and 61 like we're seeing for Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Tony. That's not such a bad deal either.
Not a bad deal at all. That's a fall forecast that I like, unlike last week when we had those low temperatures below 50 and rain and
the
snow.
freeze warnings.
Yeah, I don't like that fall. Thanks, Dave.
The founder of Bayfield's Apple Festival and patriarch of Erickson's Orchard and Country Store died Sunday at the age of 90.
And today, CBS3's Ryan Campo spoke with some of the people who knew Jim Erickson best about the legacy he leaves behind.
Everybody knew Jimmy Erickson.
Jim Erickson and his wife Muriel took over their rural Bayfield farm back in 1954.
Dad just had a way with people. From the Iron Range to southern Wisconsin to wherever, you can mention Erickson Orchard and Jimmy Erickson, and they'll say, I've been there and I know your dad.
The founder of Bayfield's Apple Fest that brings upwards of 60,000 people to the area every year passed away Sunday at the age of 90.
One of the things my dad always taught me, he says, you know, if you're happy with what you do, it's not work.
And now those closest to him are remembering the farmer and the man that he was.
When he left this earth on Sunday night, he knew that he left a legacy instilled in myself and my sisters to continue on this farm.
And it's clear Erickson's legacy will live on for many more generations as they enjoy the traditions he started.
We have generational families that have been coming here for 40, 50 years. And now their kids are bringing their kids.
And it's all because of the love and energy Erickson had when it came to his work and community.
He was just such a great promoter of all things Bayfield and especially apples. So something that you're so passionate about is really important to, you know, continue on and keep promoting, and that's exactly what Jim did.
A passion and drive he's clearly passed on to his kids.
It's not about the money. It's not about anything else, but it's about our legacy that we leave for the next generation, and that they'll want to do the same thing that we did.
A celebration of life will take place Friday with a fish fry with family and some of his closest charter fishing friends. The family tells us Erickson Orchards and Country Store will be closed on Friday, but they will reopen on Saturday.
Still to come, Eddie Van Halen died at the age of 65 today. We'll have more on how he changed rock and roll next.
CBS3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
Hi, I'm Stephen Ray. At Miners National Bank, we offer local originating, local processing, local closing, and local servicing. For your next mortgage, apply now. MinersMortgage.com.
Miners National Bank of Evelyn, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Real steel. Find yours. Not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot. Pick up at over 9,000 local steel dealers. Find yours at steeldealers.com.
Thinking about buying furniture, appliances, TV, or computer? Worried about your income during the pandemic? With EasyOwn, you can choose a payment plan that works for you. You can pay your loan off early without penalty and save money. We know that life can be turbulent, and if you can no longer afford your payments, return your items to EasyOwn. The loan can be canceled, and you can do business with us again when your situation improves. Buy the things you want with the payments you can afford at EasyOwn. Visit our website, EasyOwnDuluth.com.
It's time for the annual Subaru Love a Pet adoption event. Join us virtually this year. For the month of October, there will be discounted adoption fees for dogs and cats, along with featured pets of the day. Visit animalallies.net for featured pets and event details. Miller Hill Subaru and participating shelters are excited to find loving homes for pets and bring you this event virtually. Visit animalallies.net for adoptable pets and details.
I've got one for you. See, UCare, health plan demystifiers and sleeve roller uppers.
UCare, health plan demystifiers and sleeve roller uppers.
Sounds so good when you say it. 96% of all providers accept UCare because they rock so hard.
96% of all providers accept UCare because they ride so hard. Can we pull over?
What's our tagline?
UCare, people-powered health plan.
So good.
I'm Tina Smith, and I approve this message.
Jason Lewis sure has a lot to say about women. He actually said women who care about birth control are brainless. He opposed laws providing health care protections for women. Here's Lewis.
It used to be that women were held to a little bit of a higher standard. We required modesty from women. Now, are we beyond those days where a woman can behave as a slut, but you can't call her a slut?
Jason Lewis. Wrong for women, wrong for Minnesota.
Von Duluth Casino is hiring. Apply today.
Classic Rock KQ is once again the Northland's #1 radio station. The KQ Morning Show, the most listened to radio program in the Northland. The KQ Train Wreck, the Northland's #1 afternoon show. Thank you for making us the Northland's #1 radio station. 95 KQDS.
The Kelly Clarkson Show, right here.
Weekdays at 3 on CBS3.
Eddie Van Halen, the guitar god who was part of one of the biggest rock bands in the late 70s and 80s, has died of cancer at the age of 65.
To music fans, he was nothing short of an idol. His eponymous band was a force to be reckoned with right out of the gate. Their hard-charging 1978 debut album sold 10 million copies. Together with his flamboyant lead singer David Lee Roth, brother Alex on the drums, and bassist Michael Anthony, Van Halen defined hair metal with monster hits like Jump from their decade-defining album 1984. With the help of his godlike guitar skills and Sammy Hagar's powerhouse of a voice, the band survived the loss of eccentric lead singer David Lee Roth in the mid-'80s. Eddie Van Halen was ranked number 8 on Rolling Stone's 100 greatest guitarists of all time.
Coming up in sports, the NHL draft is underway. Who the Wild went with next.
Eye on Mining is brought to you by Iron Mining Association, Range Regional Airport, and Miners National Bank of Evelyn.
Imagine building your Range Regional Airport without the mining industry. Now, imagine air travel without mining. We couldn't imagine that either. Welcome to Range Regional Airport, serving and supporting the Iron Range.
Having reliable internet with Mediacom has been so great for us during these crazy times. It's allowed my husband to continue to work from home without missing a beat. We had our second son during the pandemic, and it allowed us to connect with family members. They've been able to see each of the different milestones through FaceTime calls and Zoom calls, and it's been a very special time every time we get to do that. So thank you to MediaCom.
Clean water. Some of us take it for granted. Not me. I'm Beth Myers. I have the honor of representing you in the State Assembly. It wasn't that long ago that my family was struggling. We went 7 years without running water. The health of our families and our economy depends on clean water. That's why I'm fighting so hard against special interests who want to pollute our land and water. I'm Beth Myers, and I promise I will never take you or the Northland for granted.
A woman who was young had COVID-19. I remember her because she had a bracelet that had the names of her children. She asked me, "Doctor, am I going to be okay?" And I could not give her the answer that I wanted to give her. There's no excuse for why we don't have this under control at this point. Joe Biden listens to medical experts. He actually has a plan that does the things that we should have been doing many months ago. And Joe Biden is not going to let his ego get in the way of fighting the disease.
FFPAC's responsible for the content of this ad.
I hail from Canada, but I'm not a hockey player. I came here for soccer, but my journey at UWS has turned into much more than just an athletic endeavor. I have a lot to thank the professors for allowing me the opportunity to have confidence in myself, whether it's on the field or in the classroom or on the campus, and I think that I really flourished. For me, my experience at UWS has truly allowed me to connect with who I am. You know, for such a small campus, I think it offers such a big experience. The name Superior truly fits this institution.
Toyota Highlander or Highlander Hybrid. Visit Toyota.com to learn more. Toyota, let's go places.
Imagine building your Range Regional Airport without the mining industry. Now, imagine air travel without mining. We couldn't imagine that either. Welcome to Range Regional Airport, serving and supporting the Iron Range.
Well, hockey fans, let us rejoice, for the NHL draft finally happened tonight, which means the next few days we're going to spend the next few days hearing a bunch of names that probably sound familiar because they're all from Minnesota. Minnesota did not go in state, though. With the 9th pick, the Minnesota Wild selected Marco Rossi, a center from the Ontario Hockey League. Rossi is now just the 3rd Austrian player to be drafted in the first round of the NHL draft. He led the OHL with 120 points in 56 games. It's the first top 10 pick in 8 years for the Wild. The Wild now have 5 more selections in the 2020 draft, which continues Wednesday morning for the final 6 rounds. And a couple of future Bulldogs are set to go in the coming days. Hermantown's Blake Biondi ranks 65th among North American skaters. The former Hawk was crowned Mr. Hockey this past spring. And former Andover defenseman Wyatt Kaiser currently ranks 37th among North American skaters in the latest NHL draft rankings. Both will suit up for UMD next season. Mid-November has been the magic date in the minds of college hockey fans, because that is the earliest that the NCHC announced they would drop the puck. That includes UMD men's hockey. The Big Ten Conference announced today that they may start as early as November 13th or the 14th. We got to put the emphasis on as early as. This means that conference teams will get to keep each of their 24 league games originally scheduled. UMD's Icebreaker series, however, against the Golden Gophers, originally scheduled for the end of October, was canceled and is still canceled due to COVID-19. Some prep soccer tonight. The Duluth Denfeld girls hosting Esco. A few minutes in, Kylie LeMay ahead for Cora Samuelson. Fires a rocket off her right foot, but Esco keeps her off the board. Eventually, though, the Hunters would break through as Cameron Hill puts one away. Duluth Denfeld takes a 1-0 lead into halftime. The Eskimos equalize in the second half, and it stays tied at the final whistle. 1-1 the final. If you were up late last night, you saw another big win by the Green Bay Packers. They continue their undefeated campaign, now a quarter of the way through the season. Their 30-16 primetime win over the Falcons was highlighted by the guy that everybody thought would step up in the absence of Green Bay's top receivers. That's Robert Tonyan, the third-year tight end who caught all 6 of his targets for 3 touchdowns and 98 yards. The Aaron Rodgers resurgence tour is still on. 27 for 33, including a perfect 20 for 20 to running backs and tight ends. for 327 yards and 4 touchdowns, and still no interceptions on this season.
We have complete confidence that he's going to go out there and play at a high level every time he touches the field. And he makes great decisions, and he's proven that over the course of his career. I think there's so many other variables that play into whether or not a guy throws a pick. So, you know, to say, can a guy go an entire season? I don't know.
The Packers will rest for the next week on their bye before heading to Tampa Bay to take on Tom Brady and the Buccaneers in Week 6. In addition, the Packers announced today that they will be putting an indefinite hold on hosting fans at Lambeau Field this season. They say via a press release that in order to host fans, the area will need to see a marked improvement in the rate of community infection and hospitalization due to COVID-19. Green Bay and Brown County are currently seeing a spike in cases, as is the entire state of Wisconsin. The Packers will continue to evaluate the situation and have not completely ruled out hosting fans. If the situation were to get to that point, season ticket holders would have the first priority. Finally tonight, ending hunger. That has been Second Harvest Heartland's mission for years, but now they're getting some hometown support from some Minnesota MVPs. We brought you this story last week as well. The nonprofit gave an update on its Home Teams versus Hunger campaign. It's a partnership between Second Harvest and many Minnesota's top sports teams, including the Vikings, the Wild, the Timberwolves, and the Twins. So far, they've raised more than $45,000, which equals about 137,000 meals for kids and families in need. Organizers addressed the strain of COVID-19 that is put on food supply chains, and they continued need for what they call smart food programs like SNAP. And we'll have a link to how to donate on our website. That's going to do it for sports tonight. We'll be right back after the break.
CBS3 closed captioning is brought to you by Essentia Health. Need a flu shot? Find flu booth dates and locations at essentiahealth.org.
I'm Sean Mullen, a physician assistant at St. Luke's Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. I first became interested in orthopedics from my own injuries in high school sports. I became fascinated with the way the body recovers and heals. You only get one body, so if you take care of it well, that will pay dividends for you down the road. Taking a patient who is in a bad place from an injury or a condition, knowing that you're a part of their care and helping to increase their quality of life is one of my favorite things about working here.
Because of this, we built the most powerful Ford Explorer ever. Because of this, we built Ford Expedition with best-in-class towing. Because of this, we built Escape with Ford Copilot 360. And because Ford SUVs are built for this, you made Ford America's best-selling brand. Now get over $4,750 total cash on Explorer. That's over $4,750 total cash. Only at your local Northland Ford dealer.
We know it can be scary when you're injured in an accident.
We know the insurance company can be unfair.
We know bills need to be paid. But we also know what it takes to win.
We know what it takes to get our clients compensated.
And most importantly, we always fight to do the right thing for our community. Nicolay knows.
Nicolay knows.
Nicolay knows.
Nicolay knows injury law.
Nicolay Law, Northern Minnesota's award-winning injury, disability, and bankruptcy law firm.
What would Joe Biden's plan do for you? Families with young children could get nearly $7,000 for childcare. Buying your first home, you'll get $15,000 towards the down payment. If you get paid by the hour, your income could grow by as much as $14,000. Older seniors, your yearly Social Security benefits could increase by $1,300. The Biden plan. The wealthy and big corporations pay more, you benefit.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Dante was killed in Pearl Harbor.
We had a very hard time getting Dante flown home to Duluth, running into roadblock after roadblock after roadblock.
Pete Stauber was very much there for us every bit of the way.
And he would look at us and he'd say, we're going to make that happen for you.
Thursday night, the family of Dante Teeny got him back.
Pete came through for our family with flying colors.
He sees the needs of the people and he fights for them.
I'm Pete Stauber, and I approve this message.
Well, Well, not even a global pandemic could stop this 102-year-old from voting in this upcoming election.
Yeah, B. Lumpkin hasn't missed an election since she's been eligible to vote, and she's not about to start now. You can see the lengths she is willing to go to vote, dressed up in personal protective gear and mask and everything needed to protect herself and, of course, others as well.
What a way to exercise your democracy.
Yes.
Dave, how are we looking for weather tomorrow?
I think we're going to look fair.
Okay.
Fair sky with some sunshine, and it'll dry up. Our rain chance fades away in just a couple of hours. It will cool down a little bit. A lot of places made 70 today. 60 may be the top tomorrow, but 60 is still almost 5 degrees warmer than normal, and then 70 could return come Friday. Rain chance will return on Monday, so it's going to be a long, long wait.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you tomorrow night.